My mic has been giving me issues the last couple of days. So here's hoping that it actually functions properly. But hey, I'm here. I am doing a no cam. You get the lovely Emmy art today because my face is swollen and I feel like garbage. But I wanted to stream, and so we're gonna do some gummy hunting. Very excited about it. Yeah. Welcome in, friends. I love y'all. I hope you're doing well. I hope that for those of you who are in the heat, you are staying as cool as possible because oh boy, is it not great outside. Yeah, today's stream is just gonna be like super mellow, super chill. I want to get back into Prey, but my brain hurts. I'm just incredibly distracted because I've got this stupid pressure in my face from the sinus infection, and I want to enjoy Prey, and I can't do that if I'm miserable. So, it's Clown Kayshurrr today. We're doing Clown Kayshurrr instead of Sir Kayshurrr. I was gonna do Angry Kaysh, but I don't know. Seemed a little too much. Bye, Annie. Yeah, chill Clown Kaysh day with fun gummy hunt. Come gummy hunt with the silly Clown Kaysh. Let's go. I love how captions thought I said dummy hunt and not gummy hunt. It's fine. I'm not that worried. I have everything set up, I think. I'm gonna pause the music and we're gonna move over here and I'm gonna unmute everything. We're doing a dumpy hunt. Aren't you excited and very ready? That looks a little loud. Hold on a second. Turn it down just a smidge, just a touch. It's time for the dumpy gummy hunt. Yeah, I don't know. What were we doing? We are, oh god, every time I see Gummy Hunter, I panic. Because, oh boy, are they wet. Why are they so damp? Yeah, the eyes? Not great. Not great. They're peeping. Keeping an eye out for the gummies. They're here for it. Oh, God. Okay, I remember Fruity and I played a little bit of this on Sunday, because we gave up on whatever that game was. What was that game? Why the fuck can't I remember the game? Echo Knight Beyond. I do want to try and get Latenna's gummies. I'm still determined to do that, but I need to level up just a little bit more before we go deal with the Bloodhound or whatever. I don't know why I thought coming here was gonna be a great idea, because it's not, but you know, it's fine. Oh, kill him. Please kill him. This is fine. I should probably heal, though. I think we were gonna try and go after Leonine the Misbegotten, but that seems like a bad idea. Although, to be fair, I think he was, like, one of the first bosses that I killed on my first playthrough. So maybe it's not as bad of an idea as I think it is. Maybe I'm just a coward. I will still be defaulting to Bloodborne controls, though, since that is the last Souls game I played. Oopsies. Is there anything cool down here? No. But let's hope I don't jump off of any ledges like I did on Sunday. That would be embarrassing. Anyway, how are you doing today, Emmy? How's it going? I know we chatted a little bit earlier, but, you know, fill me in the last few hours. Whoa. I got through my whole shift today with little to no issue, and I'm very excited about that. I'm very much enjoying my job. As stressful as it can be sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that much to talk about right now. I just want to play some Elden Ring and hang out with my buddies. And not get stabbed by the bad bird boys. Thank you. I do think about it a lot, that Souls games tend to be like my go-to when I'm not feeling too hot. These are what I play when I want to relax. Says a lot about me. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely at the point where I was just about willing to take anything. But I'm glad that I found something that's, like, actually enjoyable and nice. And lovely. Okay, I know there's a man around here somewhere. Don't remember where he is or how to get to him, though. This seems incorrect. Maybe we have to go around this way? There is a man here whose daughter we've spoken to. Arena? Right? Show us your gummies, sir. Dear sir. Show me the gummies. Thanks. That's where the boss fight is. So that's kind of cool. I know he's up here, though. Somewhere. He's up here somewhere. I just don't remember where, and that's a bit of an issue. Because I just need to shove my camera in his head. Also, rip it and rip it. I might as well open that up now while I'm thinking about it. Especially since I've drunk so much dang water today. I'm very good at staying hydrated. Look at me being a responsible person. You better be drinking some water, by the way. Listen. You gotta drink some water, too. Thank your oiter. Maybe we go back down. Maybe we go back down. Good. I know, it's so hot. I looked earlier and I think it said it was like 33°C, which is not great. Yeah, get all the water. All the water for all the reasons. It's important. It's important! How do we get up there? Excuse me. I hope you couldn't hear that. But if you could, oh well. I have tried getting gummies of enemies. A couple of them do, but they're very hard to get. Hi, Trio B. How's it going, friend? The issue is that a lot of enemies, they render differently than NPCs do, and so they tend to, like, fade out of existence when you try to put the camera in them, and I think that's to limit the collision when you're doing battle. You got this. That last hour is always rough, but you're doing great. You're gonna do it, and you're gonna be done with it, and then you'll be done for the day, and it's gonna be awesome. You got this. I believe in you. Oh, jeez. Manager. Get on it. Gotta have a word with your manager. Tell him to do better. This way? No, we've been that way. Where the fuck am I? There's... I am missing a ladder somewhere. Somewhere is a ladder that I need. Can I go down there, actually? Thanks. That's just my character. That's their skin. It's fine. This is Gummy Hunter. They are here to find all the gummies. That's my skin. You are not the first person to think that it's part of the outfit, though. Hi, that's just what my character looks like. Their insides are on the outside. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Got a claymore. I'm currently using it? No, I'm using a great sword, which is better than the claymore. Whatever do you mean? Is this not what people look like? Wild. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They own it. They wake up in the morning and they go, you know what? I look great today. And then they come out here and just... they rock this look. Oh god. This look. This this look. They're a lot to look at, admittedly. We understand this. Yeah, absolutely serving organs and meat. Takes a lot of balls to be able to do that. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've been up here? Yeah, because that just leads back to where we were. So what is down here? I am having a tough time of things right now. Trying to figure out where we're going. Can we go this way? Can we... Maybe... I remember that it's, like, weird. There's a weird way to get where man is. Is that it? No. Yes? No. I just want to find the gummies. That's it. That's all. Don't jump. Don't jump. Just get on the ladder. You fool. Is there... Hi, we're just gonna wander around the castle for a little bit while I try to figure out how to get to where man is. Man exists. I know man is real. He is here somewhere. That's fair. Gummy works, or what I refer to, or what I use to refer to the insides of characters' faces. So like, sometimes in games, you can have your have your camera clip through the head of an enemy, and then you'll just see like their eyeballs and their teeth and stuff, and those are what I refer to as gummy works. It is not just it's not just a Soulsborne thing. You can do it in many games. You gotta look at the Yes, but please. Yeah, it's just that it's a thing that I like to do sometimes. You know, it's my way of feeling like I'm breaking a game without actually breaking it. Plus it's just very fun to see what's inside of an NPC's head. Is there a ladder down here? Maybe. Perfect. Perfect. This just makes me respect you even more. I'm a big fan of Gummy works here. That's awesome that you've, like, worked on that kind of stuff, though. Mad respect. Is there a way? Okay, we're gonna walk around the castle for a second. See what we can see. But yeah, I'm all about respecting the gummies. Someone worked hard to get those in there. Nice! That's dope. You gotta make sure the gunk is right. That's a very important aspect of a horror game. Any game, I'd say, but especially a horror game. I wish I had VR now so I could check this out. Christ. Nah, that's dope, though. I like it. All the gunk, all the goop, all the splats. Oh god. Okay. It's not out here. We can't find man out here. How? Just how, I think, is the question right now. It's gonna be a fairly uneventful time, it seems like. And I don't want to sit at the bonfire just yet, or I guess the point of grace, because I don't want to reset all the enemies just yet. Run around a little. This is fine. Oh my god, their Gummy Hunter's feet are disgusting. They were filthy for a second. I don't know where all the gunk is gone. Speaking of gunk. There wasn't a ladder over here, was there? No. No ladder. How in the heck do I get up there then? It's fine that we've had to come back because I missed some fire grease. Let's go up this way. We're not afraid of a little gunk, goop, or filth. Dirt, muck, any and all of it is welcome. It's just surprising sometimes when you look down and you're like, oh god, that's a lot of gunk. Gummy Hunter's definitely a goopy girl. Yeah, we do. Where in the heck? Maybe I just stop trying to find man, and then we'll just locate him accidentally. Sweet precious pup. Sometimes you just gotta run around. You know what? I support this puppy. Even if he's not actually a puppy. All dogs are puppies. This is just facts. I don't make up the rules. support a dog that gets super excited about dirt. Get a lung full of that. Okay. We've been over there because all the enemies are dead. Can't go down there. I mean, I can, but that would be useless. How? Sorry, we're looking. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go down here. What's down here? Why is down here? What? Hold on. This was rude. How else was I supposed to get here? How am I supposed... Okay, I was like, how am I supposed to get down? Like this. Just like this. Oh, no! That was almost terrible. Actually, just kidding. It is still terrible. Gummy Hunter should definitely be able to fly. Facts. Quick, we gotta get that Gummy Hunter fan art started. And I need her to have bat wings. Let's go. Get fucked. Gummy Hunter fan art. We gotta get... Oh, look, it's my favorite Throne employee. Hi, Smiley. How is it going, my friend? How are you doing? Give me that pickled turtleneck. Get crisp. Ouch. This is fine. Have you been relaxing? Let me know if you like it. Enjoy your movie. Get wrecked, my dude. This is not ideal. Gotta tell tales. We love them. Aw, nice! Does Pinky like the backpack? I gotta know. It is important to know if Pinky enjoys the walks. I assume yes, but, you know, the more information, the better. Ah! This is a problem! Shit! Okay, this is fine. This is fine. I'm not panicking, you're panicking. Okay. Okay. Listen here, bucko. How do I get back up? I would like to get back into the castle proper. Oh no! I'm glad she enjoys it. I keep considering, oh, sweet baby Binks. I wanna, if I get to a place where I can go for nice walks more consistently, I want to consider getting a backpack for Lamia. Because I don't think she would appreciate a leash very much. It's true, some babies are thrill seekers. Devo is not one of them! Hi. Hi, sweet boy. Hello. Hold on, I have to say hello to the baby. Get a stroller for the baby! That'd be fun. Also, yeah, we can have backpack cat hangouts, it's true! Oh god. Get a backpack for the dog. Everyone needs a backpack for their animal. It's this is it. We've decided? Get a baby Bjorn for doggo. Oh, fuck! Okay, this is fine. No! It's okay. I don't think people would try to interact with me the way that I look. They just panic. I'm a scary person. Fuck off, my dude! Shit! This is fine. Enjoy your movie, Smiley! I love you! Also, I just lost 6,000 echoes. This is not echoes. What are these runes? This is fine. I didn't want those anyway. I am slow to respond to enemy attacks. Maybe I should get a different weapon. Not particularly good with big slow weapon. Or maybe I just get good. Consider. Let's level up real fast. Wait, what is this? Flasks! I like that they've added the little dot to tell you that you can do the thing now. That's nice. I don't have enough runes. I don't have enough runes. This is horrible. Alright. Alright, listen here. I've done it again. I keep forgetting that I have to jump. Get out of here, little chicken wing. These guys, easy peasy. Not even an issue. Don't even have a problem here. It's big boy. Need to remember that he's slow to attack. And plan my dodges a little better. I just get so dang excited. It's Gummy Hunt! Hi, Fruity. I wanted to play more Prey, but my face hurts. And so I was like, let's just do a Gummy Hunt. You know what? Actually, I don't need to fight this man at all. I'll just hit him with fire forever. Hi. Hi, Devo. Devo is saying hello. I don't know if you can hear him. Hi! It's true. I figured that this would be a little easier. I really wanted to stream today, because I wanted to stream on Monday too, but I felt like trash. My face just was not happy. I got ghosts in my nose. But, yeah. Figured I could do a Gummy Hunt. Just a touch. No, the pollen count is just insane here right now, and I went outside for the first time in forever. And so, you know, Ghost knows. It's fine. I'm feeling much better. I just needed to, you know... Oh, excuse me, sorry. It was definitely the video games. You're right, you are. I didn't know you had a PhD, but here we are. Now we know. Now we know. Scarab. Scarab. Thank you. What'd you give me? Literally nothing. The worst. Oh boy. But yeah, I am feeling much better. I'm still, like, still have a bit of a, you know, a sinus infection, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. And so I'm hoping that maybe I'll actually be able to sleep properly tonight and not wake up 20,000 times. My head still feels heavy, but not as bad as it did. So, you know, we're on the mend. It'll be great. But yeah, no more Echo Night. You heard it here. Echo Night made me sick. Boop. Give me the bits. I need to stop hitting X to try and pick things up. That is the incorrect button. So, that's a chandelier down there. That is gleaming. I understand. Should probably equip this. How are you doing though, friend? How's it going? That's incorrect. No, rats. Rats. Rats, please. No. Okay, but that sounds like a great time. We love eating too much pasta and taking naps. Okay. Damn, mine's going good. Bad rats. These rats, not splootable. You cannot sploot these rats. Can confirm. It's bad here. Do a stab. Let's go! What else is around here? Point of Grace. That's great. I can level up now. That does mean those rats will respawn, but this is fine. Let's level up. Strength? Dexterity? Let's go Arcane. So I'm still trying to, like I said, I think 21 is the highest that I need my Arcane to be to do any of the, like, spells that I'm interested in. No, you don't get to wake up. And the sooner I get that handled, the better. Sir, I need you to not stab me with your face. And also not have such ridiculous reach, please. Listen. I just want to find some gummies, and I can't do that with everyone being a bort hole. Can technically just jump down here and ignore everything and just hang out with these jellies? Hi, jellies. Right, sir, please. Okay, this is gonna be horrible. I will die. I just want to see if I can maybe take him on. The issue being that the last time, or when I first fought Leonine, I had a shield. And it was fairly easy to... Oh my god! Sir! It was easy to parry him, but it's not now because I'm magic. Please! Okay, it's fine. You know what? Nope. I'm gonna roll off the fucking edge! Oh, no! Okay. Okay. I need to remember to summon my wolves. That's a good start, I think. Is wolf summoning. We do lots of damage to him with our spells, so that's exciting. I'm so sorry, Jelly. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Jelly, no! Please! It was an accident! It's true! We're not about that passive life here. Oh, 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 oh. Get him, dogs! Get him, dogs! No! Sir! Okay, this is fine. We're doing great, actually. Stay over there, Leonine, please. Sir! Oh, no! It's against the law to attack anyone when they're drinking their juice. This is a known law. A universal law. Okay, I think I can do this. Got him down to half health. It's terrible. It's horrible. Why is he so mean? Okay, let's not jump on the jellyfish this time. I think avoiding landing on the jellyfish probably good. Okay. Alright. Dogs, get out there. Dogs, do the thing. Shit. Sir! Oh, I need my juice. I also need him to not just absolutely decimate my dogs. That scream, though! Oh, no! Do I want to keep trying to fight Leonine, or do I want to move on real fast? Because we really haven't found any gummies this time. Yeah, it's... I think some of the issue that I'm having is dealing with the fact that I don't have, like, any stagger ability anymore. Which is fine on its own, but definitely something that I have to, like, acclimate to. We'll try a couple more times and then we'll move on. I would like to try and get to the Volcano Manor before the end of stream today. I think that's doable. I know I said that last time. I know I said that on Sunday. But we actually have, like, you know, a full stream to be able to do this. So, as opposed to a single hour. I need to hit him, like, once and then back off. See, like that. Oops. But I need to time my dodges better. I can only do one more catch flame before I have to refill. Okay. Dogs! 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 Dogs, I need you to distract him when that's happening, okay? Yikes. Okay, this is fine. Come here. Nice. Oh. Stop paying attention for a second. Dogs, hit him. Got him. Eee. Yeah, I just need to I need to be better about remembering to space out my attacks. I can't just get greedy and hack and slash at him. Thanks. Thanks. I tried. Is there anything? There's nothing around here, is there? Nah. Why would there be anything here? This is just a boss arena. It's also just trying to, like, remember how to play. I've played a little bit of Bloodborne between Sunday and now. And I should stop doing that if I plan to do gummy hunts. Here's the thing. I shouldn't do that. I want to go there. Do I actually want to go there? You know where we haven't been for a while? I'd hang out on this beach. Gravestones and all. Nice and quiet. We haven't been back to the Table of Lost Grace for a minute. So let's go back there and see how everyone's doing. Can probably upgrade my dogs. Gotta do the stuff for D. Oh! Oh, this is open now. I forgot about this. We can try and get some finger gummies. I can also get ladies' gummies.
Are you that new tarnished? You've done well.
Oh god.
I am Enya, the finger reader. I
Enya?
interpret the words of the fingers, envoys to
Ugh.
the greater will.
Ugh! Why do they look this way?
The fingers tremble to welcome you.
Don't talk about trembling fingers.
Let their wisdom wash over you.
I also won't make you stare at the inside of those gummies for too long.
Root of the Golden Order,
I do need to post those gummies, though.
giver of grace, wellspring of all joy. Until it
What
was
are we on?
shattered,
37?
the
Jesus.
tragic corruption of the Order has taken its toll. Across the realm, life lies in ruin, fallen
also-
to pieces. Foul curses and misery spread, unabating. But the greater will has not abandoned the realm.
Sorry, ma'am. I wasn't listening to you at all. I was busy posting your gummies. She's got a uvula, and that concerns me? Why was that needed?
To act, brave tarnished.
Alright. Fingers don't really have gummies. They got folds. But, that's about it. Can't. Okay. Well... Is there a better way to maybe... I don't know that these really count. It's not really enough to, like, consider. Fingers, you're awful. Hey, Fingers, you're bad. Yeah, no lips or eyes in there. I mean, there weren't any lips or eyes in Alexander, but we did get his nice little arm nubs, which was fun. We appreciated the arm nubs. Plus, it's Alexander, and we love the boy. Love a good jar friend.
Greetings. Are you here for...
I am here for spirit tuning. Please? I need Grave Glovewort.
Now, look at those are of a challenger. Find them well.
Okay, this is fine. I would like to strengthen this. And should consider using another weapon. This one is so slow. But I like it. I don't have the dex to use the Bloodhound's Fang, but that would be cool. And it is stronger than what I'm currently using. So let's go ahead and level that up a bit. I need 17 dex. I think that's manageable. Oh, before
Back already, no matter.
we walk away, I do want... Can I duplicate this? I don't have the Lost Ashes of War to do that. Okay. That's fine. I do want to put, Bleed on the Bloodhound Fang at some point. Because I think that would be good. Can I come in here now? No, because I'm supposed to talk to the fingers. But Nefeli is here? Wait, we've got Nefeli's gummies, haven't we? Let me double check real fast. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, she was number 29. Okay. This is fine. We love us some bleed.
You again.
I did like a frost build last time, so...
We met at Stormvale. I'm glad to see you here. I have something for you. I found it in Godric's grafting grounds. You defeated him. You should have it. Make good use of it.
What is
I don't
it?
intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
What is it? Thanks for the arsenal charm.
Ah, yes. I wonder if you've met my foster father. He's in his study. The room Ensha's guarding just over there.
Just to remind you what our gummies look like.
I advise you introduce yourself. Father is leader of the Round Table. I'm sure talking to him
They're
will
whack.
be worth your while.
They're goopy.
It's about time I headed off. I'll see you again, warrior. It's about time I'll see you again.
Okay. This is fine. Ensha, can I get your gummies better than I did last time? I don't think I can. These gummies are really hard to get. Yeah, that's about as good as we got them last time. Okay. Okay, so we've spoken to Nefeli. She should be showing up at... I want to say the village of the Albinarics is her next location. I do want to try and, like... If I do it here or on my new game... with Waluigi, I want to try and, like, complete her quest. Because I missed her pretty much entirely my first playthrough. Can't attack here. Won't let me. Ensha will attack me later, but at that point he'll be moving so fast that I'm not gonna be able to take a picture of his silly little face. And that's tragic. We got Gowry's gummies. Let's Yeah, I think I want to try and go... That's the Altus Plateau. Who's here? Finger Reader. Just a tiny little bit. Okay, we're gonna... Like I said, I do want to try and get to Volcano Manor. And I would like to do that not by getting abducted, because I do have the summons, I think, from Raya. There's lots of good gummies there. That's Arena's letter. That's for her dad at Castle Morn. Oh, we gotta find, Muriel? Turtle Pope. Do I not have? Hold on. Have I not finished Raya's quest? I thought I did. We gotta go see Turt Pope. Because I have some spell books that I would like to give him so I can, maybe purchase some new spells. I like Catch Flame. Catch Flame has been doing a lot of damage, but, I would like other spells as well. Smiley, this isn't watching your movie.
Oh, piss off. Oh, I see. You want some of me prawn?
Give me your prawn.
Freshly cooked it is.
Did I get your gums?
Alright then. It's yours.
Pretty sure I did.
If you can meet me price.
Hold
Or
on.
I could be persuaded to sell you some other bits too. If you've got the runes.
That's fair. You're allowed to say hi to... You're allowed to say hi to Fruity. Did we not get his gummies? Hold on. I have to scroll through every single fucking screenshot we've taken. I'm not gonna stop you from saying hi. Never do that, Smiley. Not even once. I also need to go say hi to Selin again. It's been a minute. Oh my god, I don't think we've gotten his... This is... How did we miss this? How did I let this slide? Emmy did. Emmy made my sub badges.
Marika's tits. You must be hungry.
Don't they, though? I love them. So much. And I think a lot of people have the Rainbow Octo now, which makes me even happier. I love the Rainbow Octo. I don't get to show it off nearly as much as I
So you
would
met
like.
the girl, did you? Alright, well, sort the particulars of the matter.
Okay,
It
also,
ain't my fault she's stupid enough to get duped, is it?
we're at 38
Anyway.
gummies now.
She ain't alright, that one. Lucky she ain't died on the bloody roadside, I reckon.
38 gummies all over the land. I'm gonna find them all because I can. Okay, so I did buy the pendant. I thought... Okay, so she's, like, not here anymore. Raya, where have you gone? Okay. I'm pretty sure we have been invited to the manor. So, we're gonna travel north, I think. Oh, that's a lobster. Oh, that's another lobster. There's a point of grace. You love to see it. Boop. I am scared about heading north, because I am squishy. And there's a lot of things in Mount Gilmer. Gilmer? The volcano that can and will do a murder on me. Nope. Oh, that bleed damage, though. We're a fan. We like it. We're here for it. What? I should probably double check to see what my dex is at. Dexterity is at 15. I just need 2 levels before I'll be able to use the Bloodhound sword. So maybe we actually just hang out here for a minute. Ah! No! Oh! Oh, I've unequipped my weapon. Okay, this is fine. We're doing great, actually. Get out of here, buddy. Also, it has come to my attention that there are some crabs in the lands between that have Godwin's face just plastered on their back. And that's kind of cool. I think you've seen the horrible ET men. They like to cartwheel everywhere. They're one of my favorite enemies just because they're so fucking goofy. These are the Albinarics. They are sad boys. And I like them. They're just sad little tadpoles. Little milky aliens. Sad poles! Yeah, that. They're that. Oh no. Love it. I'm here for it. Jump over. There's a tree, which means there's a seed. Give me that. Thank you. Maybe we head into... Wait... It's bad up there. Oh, right. I need to find a key to let ourselves into the academy. I don't think I have that. Thops wanted me to find it. Rusty key, Dectus medallion, stone sword, Godric's great rune. Yeah, maybe I don't have it yet. Forgot I have Ranker Call as well. Need more intelligence. I need to level up. Having this issue where I need to level up. But to do that, I need to kill things. But I'm very focused on just finding gummies. And also, I am bad at killing things. We killed the tree sentinel, right? Pretty sure we did. If we haven't, we could. Gotta be better about balancing doing murders with locating gummies. I've put too much emphasis on the gummies and not enough on the leveling up part. We can't get gummies if we're not a high enough level to deal with the enemies ahead. And I am not wacky enough to want to fight everything at an incredibly low level. So, there's a bell buddy over there. Hi, bell friend. How are you doing, pal? Why are you not moving? What's going on? You just having a rest? Oh, now you're moving. Okay. That was weird. I don't want to bring him down just yet. No, I could, and then I can mark him on the map. Let's do that. Ooh. Ouch! I don't see any of the skulls that are usually on their feet, so we can knock him down. So maybe this is a future us problem. Is there anything cool over here? No, not really. Okay. Well... Oh, wait. Is this... No. But it did look like the skulls were up there. So... maybe I just have to find a better way to deal with that. I don't want to fight any of these boys right now. Get me out of here. Let's go. I think tackling the academy would be a good option to do soon-ish. So we can do Selen's quest. Find a couple more gummies that way. And also, there's just a lot of things there that could that could help us level up a bit. How do I get up there? How do I deal with all these goopy, milky aliens? I missed. That was tragic and pathetic. Oh! 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 That boy can frost me. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, goodness. Hold on. I am taking a drink of water. I say because I realize no one can see what I'm doing, and I don't want there to just be like this weird, awkward silence while the character stands there and I drink my water. But it's important that I drink my water. So, you know, I'm doing that. Drinking my water. Where did he go? You aren't giving me a ton of runes. Also, I don't have anything equipped here, so that's unfortunate. What can I... No. Let's go maximum equip load. And enhancing that final hit. I need to get more talismans. Really is what's going on here. Oh, why is bleed so dang ridiculous? Love it. Also, I'm hoping to, like, be fully back on my game, by this Friday. We might not do indie stuff. We might end up, like, playing some more Prey or something. Just because we haven't this week and I wanted to. Oh, fuck. What if I go ahead and heal? And then... And then we just set a few lads on fire. Oh, that missed. Please stop missing. Oh my goodness. It's gonna keep falling down. Oop. Please! This is horrible. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fucking die! No, I'm not. I was actually joking when I said that. There we go. And you were worried. Clearly I had it under control. And there was no possibility of me messing that up. Why would we doubt me? Oh boy! Alright. What was I saying though? Right. I'm hoping to be back to normal by Friday. I am, like I said, feeling significantly better than I did earlier this week. So that's great. So I'm hoping that this upward trend of feeling better continues. So yeah, we might do some Prey on Friday instead of indie stuff, but we shall see what occurs. It's true! I'm very excited for Siren. gotta get back to feeling totally great. I'm stoked. I know it's fine, but also I wanna play Siren and hang out. I'll definitely keep you posted though. Health comes first. I know. It's mostly just that, like, I don't know, my face feels heavy. It feels like I have a balloon up my nose. That makes it hard to fully focus at times. Slash what, at least thus far, what ability I have to focus has all been put towards work. And so by the time that I'm done with my shift, I'm just like, nope, we're all done. That's it. Gonna find the biggest tissue I can and get rid of all the nose ghosts. Watch me. But no, if I'm still not feeling great, I know we can cancel. I'll just be sad about it. But I'll do it if I have to. Christ. Alright. New point of grace. We got some stink eggs over here. Should we try and kill a stink egg? Oh. No. No, we should not. Stink egg? Too much health. Understood. What happens? Ouch. That's my horse you just stabbed. My guy. Okay, this might be worth it. Oh, oh, oh! That was horrible, actually. Oh, those give me so much! Okay, we're killing the stink eggs. It takes a while, but, like, that's nearly 2,000 runes. Stink eggs might be kinda good, actually. No, no, how dare, how dare, how dare! Oh, I don't have a way to fix this. I am just gonna be poisoned for a while. Stop! Stop! Bad egg! Bad egg! I'm full of stink egg! This is horrible. I didn't want to just use up all of my FP on this stupid egg, but I'll do it. Oops, that's the wrong button. Get egged. Do you think when Steed told Izzy to tell Ed to suck eggs in hell, that these are the eggs he was talking about? Because these seem a bit like hell eggs. I am still thinking a lot about... I still think about gay pirates a lot. It's not a problem. To be fair, Steed was standing next to that nose jar, and you can't control what someone says or thinks when they're standing next to a nose jar. I just want these eggs dead. I want their fucking runes. I want to be able to level up. Let's go. Buddy. Give up. Buddy, pal, egg. Exactly. Yes. Yes, that. That exactly. It's a funny joke because nose and nose sound the same. So it's haha. I can't even explain the joke. Very good. I need all of these stink eggs to just stop doing that stink thing that they're doing. Ah! Ah! Oh, stink egg hurts! Egg, I can't get hit by you again. It is a very complex joke. Oh. Oh. Okay. Be dead. Great. That... Why are they not giving me as many runes as they were before? Okay, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. I gotta leave. It's bad here. Stink egg sucks. That's too many stink egg. Why are there so many? Is this where I'm trying to go? I think it is. Well, that's great. Let's do that. What if I reset the area? Try to kill one more stink egg, right? Oh, actually, I can improve my flasks. Let's go. And then let's... 6 and 3 sounds good. I'm happy with this. This is a good situation we're finding ourselves in. Alright, stink egg. Ouch! Why are stink egg? Whoa! Tree! Okay. Thank you for the poison bloom, I guess. They aren't really giving me as many runes as they were before, and that's kind of tragic. Maybe the one that I killed originally, had that, like, rune bonus on it. That is entirely possible. Also. No! Oh god. No! No! Bats! Bats, please! fine, actually. We've done great. Yeah, we got the, the boss egg. The big bad boss egg. Got him handled first. Tragic, really. This is fine. I do have enough for a single level, which is better than nothing. And we can go up in here and explore here and probably get another level just from existence. So let's increase dex. And while I'm at it, go ahead and use these. What do I need? 6,272. Great. 6,500, we'll say. 6,500 for our next level. Easy peasy. Let's go. Oh! 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 Land octopus, please. Land octopus, please. Also, can I check my map? I meant to do that to make sure that this is actually where I needed to go. It is! Great! It's very green in here. Oh, this is gonna be horrible. I think they typically ignore me unless I attack them. Typically. Unless they're not busy doing a thing. I do want to see how much damage I can do to these guys, though. Not a great amount, actually. In fact, a very bad amount. Hey, what if I just leave for a minute? Consider I regret the choice that I've made and I leave so I can see if I have a bludgeoning weapon, because that might help us a bit more here. Yeah, like a hammer. Like a big, chunky hammer. It's no wacky hammer, but it is pretty close. Alright, pal. Nope. This is horrible. Nope. Okay. Even two-handing this, it's not a wonderful situation I found myself in. That is unfortunate. Does this? You know what? We're not gonna bother with them. Maybe one day we'll have the strength to wield a wacky hammer. One day. Far down the line. I probably should have... It's true, you gotta! Game's got all sorts of wacky hammers. Let me tell ya. Let's get our greatsword back in there. Hello. I see those little buttholes. Okay, that's one-handled. I don't think I can throw that far. I will certainly try, though. Alright, come here, pal. Anyone else? No! I hate poison. I see all of those. It wasn't even worth it. Horrible. I'm getting a lot of smithing stones, though, I guess. Still gonna be I tried not to step on that. I didn't jump far enough. This is tragic. No. No! There we go. Anything cool over here? No. Alright, let's go. But there was a thing there. There's a thing there! Hold on a ding-dang minute. Ah! Okay. We're doing great, actually. It's just a smithing stone. How do I get down? Get down here. Oof! I should have probably healed before I did that. Okay. This is fine. We've done it great. Parkour! I would like for this poison to go away, like, entirely now. Please. Thank you. It's almost there. Hi, don't mind me. I'm just passing through. Don't even worry about me. I'm not a problem. You are a problem. I'm just here to hang out. Don't worry about it. Please, I need this dead so I can— No! No! It wouldn't get out of my way! Stupid scarab! This is horrible. Okay, you know what? Since we're outside again, what if we go find Muriel? I think he's up here? Let's go find Muriel. Let's go find Turk Pope. That gives us another gummy, and also just breaks up the monotony of being dead all of the time. Is there— Hold on. We might do a dungeon or two as well, just to get some runes. Turk Pope! Turk Pope! Turk Pope! We love Turk Pope. Muriel is perfect in every way imaginable. Oh, I've already found? I have found this one. But yeah, we might, It's true. Yeah, we'll, might do a couple of dungeons so we can level up, so that we can get some of the good rare gummies. We could also probably find EG at some point. Oh! Dog, I missed. Hey, dog. Can you be nice for a second? Hi, dog. Hi, dog. I know you were just hiding in there, and I'm sorry, but I need your bits. Alright, where am I going? This way. Muriel, are you here? Do I remember how to find you? I do. That's really exciting. This seems incorrect. Whoa! I remember here. It's bad down there. There's a big boy that wants to do a murder on me. What if I just hang out over here? Let them do their thing. Woof! We are getting some runes this way. Culpa, hi! How's it going, friend? I need to refill my water. Hello! How are you doing? I'm gonna stay hydrated. I have refilled my water. My glass overfloweth with water. Hi, kitten. And I shall drink some of it, as long as I stop spilling it all over myself. Reminder for everyone else to also do a hydrate. Because if I gotta take care of my dang self, you gotta take care of your dang self. Alright. But yeah, how's it going? How are you doing? Welcome in. Alright. Well, we've gotten... I can't take that man down. That man is too large. Happy to have you here. We're doing it a little different than we normally do today. I have been dealing with a sinus infection this week. So my head's a little sore. So we're doing no cam today. Everyone gets to see the lovely art that Mayor Emmy has made for me. That's a rune bear. We're also just playing something a little different. I play Elden Ring a ton, honestly, but, you know. I had it scheduled that we were gonna play some more Prey, but I can't focus enough on it, and I can play Souls games in my sleep. So, you know. Alright, I did not remember where Muriel is. He's here, isn't he? This is where our boy is. I'm gonna say hi to Turtle Pope. But yeah, I'm taking care. We're resting up. I am feeling significantly better now. But still just trying to take it easy. I'm glad you're doing well, though. Oh. Ah! Okay, maybe we don't fight the wolves at the moment. Maybe I just focus on the one goal that I've set for myself. And we try to go find our sweet Turtle Pope. But yeah, we're happy you made it. Happy to have you here. Lamia? My cat has awoken. Hello. She is as miserable as I've been this week, because it's been very warm. The AC does work now, which is wonderful, and I can only imagine how horrible this would be without a functioning air conditioning unit, but still not ideal. Okay, we want to cross this. Those are slugs. Not those. Those are goats. No. Those are slugs. How much did they give me? 27? That's it? That's not worth it. How much do you give me? Whoa! I missed it. I got too distracted trying to dodge. 104. It's not terrible. I'm a little concerned about the large lad over here because he will ruin my day. I got a new spell. That's exciting. Is Slugs his ghost? Possibly? Is Slugs his ghost? Is Slugs is not worth it? Is Slugs is bad? We do have a Queen of Grace over here though, so that's wonderful. Hi Mama! What are you doing? Oof. Touch. Tooch, tooch. We gotta get up there. Up there. That's where Turt Pope is. And then we can put this whole slug business behind us, which would be really exciting. I would like to forget about the bad slugs. Hi. Hello. Yikes! Okay. We can take care of them if they all don't hit us at the same time! Great! Perfect! Give me those smoldering butterflies. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't see me, don't see me, don't see me. Please. I just want to go see our Turt Pope friend. These guys don't really give me many souls either, but they are fairly easy to... I say fairly easy. They are incredibly easy to take out, so we'll take the easy souls. Plus, they refill my flasks if I get rid of them, and I love that. Also, Turt Pope is over here. We're gonna get more gummies. And I'm very excited about it. But first, do have to get rid of these skeletons. I know, I'm sorry. I don't like destroying the skeletons, holy shit. But they do gotta go. It is important. No! Please! Move! Oh my god. Okay, as long as I can touch this before I die, it'll be fine. Hi, Sam! How goes it? Sorry, I'm getting my shit jacked by this stupid skeleton buddy. Oh no. Okay, that's okay. How's it going, Sam? How are you doing? You're doing a cursed stream tonight, aren't you? Do I remember that properly? Oh no! No, you forgot. Forgot to do it. Will it be ready in time? But also, black chores. Oh no! This is sad and tragic and horrible. I'm sorry. Are you gonna do something else instead, or are you just, Okay, that makes sense. Better late than never. This is true. Sad, though. Look who it is! Look who it is! Look who it is! Look who it is!
You are tarnished, aren't you? I welcome you to the Church of Vows. I am Muriel, steward of this sacred chamber. My apologies for the unseemly state
Very
of
hard to
affairs.
get his gummies.
Do
There
you
they
know
are.
the origin of this place? How it came to be known as the Church of
Got him.
Vows?
I also like his hat. Hey buddy,
Well,
I don't
that
know.
is a shame.
Okay, well he's
But
telling
who
us about
can
that.
blame you? The shattering has caused us, all of us, to lose sight of something very dear. It is here, at the Church of Vows, that the great houses of the Erd Tree and the Moon were joined by the matrimonial
Actually, this is a bad
bond
picture and I
between
don't like it.
red-haired Radagon and
Yeah,
Renala of
his
the
little hat
Fell.
also has gummies.
And so our church holds in
Trying
view
to, okay.
the
I
monuments
think
of
when I
both
got his gummies the
houses,
first time, he
the
had his
Erd
like face
Tree
on
of
the ground.
capital and the Academy of Rea Lucaria.
So I definitely got like a clear view of his hat. Oh my god, look at those gummies. Look at those gummies.
Oh, was there something you needed?
I need you
are
to lift your head
free
up
to
for me,
show
buddy.
yourself
Okay?
around. I would serve as your guide, only my legs aren't what they used to be.
There we go,
If
that's
you find
better.
anything of use, you are free to take it with you.
Why is
Unless,
Muriel
perhaps,
perfect?
You are in search of instruction, in which case I will share all that I know.
Okay, hold on, sorry, I have to crop this set of gummies real fast. See? So that I can post them, but that does put us at 39 gums. Gummy works. Finding all the gummy works. Reminder, I do have all of these being posted in Discord if you want to look at all of the gummies that we have found. I think everyone here is a part of it, but if you're not, and you want to join our Discord, boom, there's a link. You can find our lovely little gummy work channel so you can see all the silly little pictures I've taken. Here,
Oh,
take this
what have
scroll.
we here? Very well, let us both learn
Look
together.
at him.
Heresy is not native to the world. It is all things
Oh,
can be
I was trying to
enjoyed.
jump. I didn't mean to skip. Okay, can I give you this prayer book?
Oh, what have we here? Very well, let us both learn together. Heresy is not native to the world. It is but a contrivance. All things can be conjoined.
Tell me
You
about
wish to know
Radagon.
more of Lord Radagon. Lord Radagon was a great champion, possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host. When he met Lady Renala in battle, he soon repented his territorial aggressions there, and became husband to the Carian queen. However, when Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Renala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures to this day as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord.
Tell me about
You wish to
Renala.
know more of Lady Renala. She is queen, head of the Carian royal family, and governor of the Academy of Rea Lucaria, the great and beautiful full moon witch. Sadly, her heart was broken when Lord Radagon left her, and then, when the Academy rebelled against the royals, she was locked away in the Grand Library.
Sad. Can I study? Some incantations, please. Black Flame would be dope. Blessing's Boon would be dope. That's a shit ton of souls, though. Okay. Also, I have been streaming for about 2 hours. And we might... Not might. We're gonna take a short break. I need to use the restroom. So we'll do some words on stream. I'll go sit at a point of grace so I don't die. And, we'll be back in a hot second. Yeah? Yeah. Before I do that, I should probably mute this dang game and turn on some music for y'all. So yeah, do just a tiny short break so I can use the restroom and stretch my legs a little bit. We will be right back. Alrighty. Oh, I could just move over here. I am back. I'm ready to go. Told you it wasn't gonna take me very long. Here we go. Oh no! What do you mean, oh no? I'm here, I'm back, hi! Hello! No, oh no! Okay, we are trying to... It's fine. Sometimes you lose Scrabble, and that's okay. Actually, can we... I think I would like to go to the ravine and try to unlock this section of the map. Sometimes you lose Scrabble and there's nothing you can do about it, and that's okay. Not every match of Scrabble is gonna be a good one. Hi, Llama. Hi, Devo. I have many cats. Hi, Sweet Neon. Devo says hello. Hi. I know you hear me talking at my computer. And you think it's time for you to be here. Devo. Pretty says hi. He's very happy about this. Yeah. It's not, no, you don't get to come up right now. Devo. Sam says hi. Hi. Yeah. He's appreciative of all the attention. Hi, sweet boy. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, my little queer friends are in the computer. And you want to say hello to them. Come here. You can come up. That's fine, I guess. Can you lay down? Give me a second. I'm getting a cat situated. Lay down. Get comfy cozy. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Sweet boy. He's very happy. People are saying hello to him. He gets to sit in my lap. Yeah. You don't get to do this for very long, though, because I have folded my legs funny in order to support him. So, we'll see how long Evo is able to just chill in my lap. No, horse! Horse, we did it! You did it, horse! Good job, horse. You're doing great, horse. King's Realm Ruins. Got the map. We got the map. Got the map for West Liurnia. Let's go. I'm getting my arm licked by a silly little cat. What are you doing? Evo? What is here? Hi. Hello? Whoa! This is fine. Easy peasy. Now that I know what's happening, this is fine. There was just a minor moment of panic while I tried to figure out what was happening. We understand now. There are invisible people here. You know. Oh, wait, isn't this where Saluvius' lab is? Like one of these spots. Oh, that's a wolf. There's a wolf there, but there's also a man here. I'm pretty sure one of these spots has like a hidden entrance to Saluvius' lab, which... Ow! Dog! Please! Okay. Sit. Trying to find it. I'm pretty sure this is where it is. Oop. I don't think we'll find Saluvius there. But we could probably go to Rena's Rise And it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, it is! Look at me remembering things! Why is this a boss area? Oh, no! No! Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, I hate this. Oh, Revenants suck. I'm sorry, did I spook you, Devo? This is why I don't usually let you sit in my lap when I'm playing games like this. Cause I'll get loud and you'll freak out. Okay! Well, I need to get back in there. Because my runes are in there. And I need those. So... Oh, Devo, please. Little man's hopping out of my lap. Which is fine. He's not very good about watching his claws. So he ends up clawing the absolute shit out of my legs. Is it over here? Where is the entrance? Where is the entrance? Okay. Over this way? No. No. He's not gonna stop. He will feel bad about it, though, if you mention it to him. He gets a little distraught about it, and then he forgets because he has to tell you about something else. Oh! Look, I'm just trying to find the little hole. There it is. I have found it. Hole found. Okay, let's drink that. Let's summon some wolves. Hey, stop! Stop! You can't just... You can't... Ah! This fucking guy, though. Please, you have too many hands. It's far too many hands. I need you to have fewer hands. Consider. Less hands. Evo just has to ask nicely. I'd let him be Elden Lord. Fuck. Where is it going? Where is it going? Too close. Oh, he's getting too close. No! No! This is horrible. Revenants are the worst. Let me tell you right now. Evo can't do the FromSoft laugh. He can just cry and worry. I'm sorry. Only Diva worry. You can believe in him all you want, Sam. He's not capable, though. Devo can't be that devious. He's just a sweet little lad. Where did the hole go? I'm sure he appreciates it, honestly. The smallest Elden Lord. He's my Elden Lord. You're right. You are... you are correct. But... he, I don't know. He doesn't have the personality for it. Again, Devo is just a sweet, soft, little round baby boy. He wouldn't hurt anything. Ah! Ah! Fuck off! Ah! No! Stop! Stop! It's so fast! It's true. Devo can be Elden Lord, he just can't be Patches. I hate this Revenant. This Revenant is shit. I just want my runes. I shouldn't have gone in there, but I did, and that was a mistake. Devo's he's bad at being bad, okay? He's a good boy and we love him, and we adore everything that he's capable of doing. He just can't do that. Okay, what am I doing? I am equipping this sacrificial twig because I just want my shit and I want to get out. And you know what? If I happen to kill the thing while trying to just leave, freaking great! But also, we can make sure I can just leave. Let's get in here. Hi, David. How's it going? It's bad in here. No! 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 Stop! Horrible, terrible, bad, awful, miserable creature. How dare you do the things you're doing? Well, there goes my dogs. Nope. Nope. Fucking shit. It's fine, we got our stuff. But yeah, hi David, how's it going? How are you doing? It's bad here. Devo is Elden Lord now. We have decided. It is true. Great! I still have my rooms. Perfect. I mean, that's what the item that we picked up was supposed to do, but I was still a little concerned that it wasn't gonna work. So maybe now that we've gotten over here, we, is EG up here? EG's down here. I can't get EG's gums, though. So that's a bit of a problem. Let's... What is my favorite weapon and helm in Elden Ring? My favorite weapon is probably the Godskin Peeler. Okay. The Godskin Peeler is probably my favorite weapon because it's ridiculous. And my favorite helm is probably the jar hat. I don't remember what it's called, but it's just a jar that you wear on your head. Yeah, I said what I said, David. I'm sorry, did I stutter? That wouldn't be unlike me to stutter. But I just want to double check. We like to call it the potato peeler. But yeah, Godskin Peeler. It's good. Yeah, to peel God. Sometimes you gotta peel God. I have a feeling that Sam might be making a cursed meme. And I'm incredibly excited about it. Where am I going? What am I doing? We're going this way. We're ding-dang going this way. Ding-dong. Oh, I want to go to the Cursed Village. That's what I'm attempting to do. I know what's happening. Literally at any point, ever. Dog, stop moving. Dog, stop moving! Dog! Dog! There we go. Yeah, gods are potatoes confirmed. I bet they'd make very good potato chips. Or even French fries? Can you imagine God French fries? Yes, please. Also, I just need one more level before I can use the Bloodhound weapon. Oh! 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 You have more health than I thought you had. It's fine. It's all gone now. Your health is all gone now. You weren't using that, right? Oh! Oof! Oh my god. Okay, this is fine. Only 63? You know, I won't ask for too many more, but you could have given me at least 6 more runes on that. And then I'd have no complaints. Also, I should heal. Ugh. Let's go! This is the Cursed Village, right? I would like to get some Shabriri grapes for Lady Hyetta. No, stop that. The noises these men make are horrible. It's the little groans of discomfort. What do you have to say, little ghost buddy? The mausoleum prowls, cradling the soulless demigod! O America, Queen Eternal, he is your unwanted child. Male? Whale? Got a sacred tear. I'd love to see it. So do I have any runes? Do. put us at? Is this enough? I think I can level, which is great. Okay, let's... Also, Melina has something to say to us.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you?
Yeah!
In Marika's own words, then,
Welcome
after
back,
thy
Emmy.
death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Cool. Thanks. I don't think there's really anything else I wanted to do here. Oh, did I? I thought I'd leveled up, and I had not. Did literally everything else. There we go. Now we can do the thing. Now I can equip the weapon that I want, which is this here. Still very slow, but you know what? It does more damage. I need probably just a handful of runes more so we can put blood loss on this thing. That's some runes. for no reason whatsoever, Devo is bigger. Lamia is just a tiny little baby. Ferocious and mean at times. But darling and lovely and itty-bitty. Lamia is so small. She is but a tiny baby. Get out of here. No, it's fair. Sometimes you gotta check. She's just itty-bitty all the way around. And like, I mean, Devo's gotten a little chunky recently. But he's also just a big cat. He's a big boy. They do have matching bow ties. Devo's bow tie is smaller than hers. Lamia also has the little white pits. And a little heart belly. Oh, Llama. I love you. Talking about her and she's looking up at me. What are you doing? What do you mean, no? Hi, Kayshurrr! How is it going, friend? Welcome in. Do you think this is enough runes to do the thing? So you're just over here saying no. Fruity's just coming in, being contrary. Twitch might be having some issues. Is what might be happening. Because it doesn't look like I'm having any problems on my side. I mean, we know that Fruity is a contrarian. The facts.
Oh, your divinity, have mercy and
Oh,
grant me
Hugh.
forgiveness. The road is yet long, a god is not easily felled.
Right?
But one day
But yeah, welcome in,
you
Kayshurrr.
will have your wish. So please grant me forgiveness. Queen Marika.
As long as it's for absolutely no reason at all.
I didn't
Well,
notice you there.
I can't promise anything,
I'll be
but
doing
you know.
my job, same as ever. Just lay out your arms. Those words were not meant for you. I may be prisoner to you, tarnished lot.
But also,
My prayers are
as
mine.
long as it's
And
for
mine
absolutely no
alone.
reason at all, then it's fine.
Well, I've had my say. I'll be more careful too.
Hudel, you were streaming earlier today, right? How was it? None reason. Zero reason. Okay, I would like to quit. Can I not put a... I can't... Oh, this is horrible. I can't put an Ash of War on this. No. We've made a terrible choice. I want a different weapon. No, it's good. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you gotta be lurking. That is fine. Yeah, I guess we can... Well, no, it does cause... Okay, it does cause blood loss build up. Wow. Blood loss build up. So it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Okay. Oh, I should go talk to what's-his-butt. Gideon. Gideon off near... Oh, I can't. I still can't. This... Gideon, what do you want me to do? I've already spoken to the two fingers. Do you have more to say, Anya?
Are you that I interpret? Let's
We've already been through this.
Until it was shut. The tragic across
And we've heard her.
foul, but the great
We've heard her
seek to become
translate the trembling.
Well, a remembrance of gold has found its way into your possession. Demigods and even the creator of the champions are hewn by the Earth Tree upon their end into remembrances. They are valuable indeed.
Yeah, I know, I've already spent one.
Remembrances yet house the power of their form.
Ma'am, I
and
do know, but, like,
the fin-
all the weapons that they offer are just trash. Let's just get that all done and over with, though. Okay. This is great. It's nice seeing everyone. Good to be home and all. Okay, we can talk to Gideon now. Great. Hi.
You've received the wisdom of the two fingers, have you not? Then I
And we
bid you
have gotten
welcome.
Gideon's
As a
gummies.
true member of the Round Table, I am known as Gideon Offnir. As a tarnished who wishes to stand before the
I think this
Elden
is a
Ring
good.
and become Elden
This is a
Lord.
good goal to
I am
have.
accumulating knowledge.
A cryptic
To be
elderly NPC.
all-knowing.
Heck yeah.
You now belong to a select group of fellows.
I mean, that'd be the life, right?
You'll be after more.
Then as your fellow,
Okay.
the inheritors of the We of the Round, Godric the General Radahn, Praetor Rykar, Morgoth,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you'll still be after...
Tell me about
I
Nepheli.
understand you've been speaking to Nepheli. She's my daughter. I took her in when she lost the guidance of grace. Though a mere axe-wielding barbarian, her youthful credulity suited my purposes. So I put her to work. Do not hesitate to
mere.
employ her. Should her services benefit you, despite her looks, she is more than capable.
We love
in the press of
Nepheli.
battle.
Don't talk bad about her. Okay. It is important that we do things. Obviously. But, maybe you go to the village of the Albinarics? No. I did want to... I did want to try and get the gummies at the Volcano Manor before the end of stream. I did say this, and then I got distracted by literally everything. Everything. Maybe we try to run through again now. We have a better weapon. It doesn't do the damage that I want it to do. But I think we got pretty close to the end of the cave. So we should be able to just kind of like run on through, honestly. Turret Pope is a powerful distraction. And it's also, I think worth worth being distracted. But if we could end with the good round 40 gummies, that would be pretty dope. I would be very happy about that. There's just so much to do in this dang game. Get lost pretty regularly. It's fine. Okay, let's explode a lad. Explode another lad. Then not get blown up. Give me your kukri. Thanks. Not get poisoned. There is going to be a boy there. Please, I need you to target the lad behind. Nice. That is a whole dang mood. I usually get really bored with open world games, to be honest. But I find that, like, I don't know, even when I get distracted in Elden Ring, I stumble upon so much other garbage and so many other things that I can do that I'm just like, this is fine. And then 20 hours later, I stumble upon whatever it was that I was originally doing, and it's like, oh yeah, that's what got me down this weird rabbit hole. I love it so much. I think most everyone here knows this, but I put well over 300 hours into this game when it came out in that like first month. And I'm still adoring it and still finding new things. Whoa! Why did it blow up? Rune-strewn precipice. Did I not? I don't know that I've been here. Speaking of new things, I don't know that I found this last time. Yeah! No, for real! Most open world games, very boring. I think just the fact that I'm able to sort of just, yeah, like the fact that I, like, can just sort of, like, jump in and find a bunch of new stuff and experience new things in this, and also just, you don't have to do it in any sort of linear path, really. Like, you can just kind of go. Really helps a lot. Alright. Bunch of goopers over here. Yeah, I don't think I've been here. So that's exciting. I unequipped my weapon. Stop! I'm trying to heal! Stop! Bad! Bad bat! Bad bat! Heal! Okay. Let's go ahead and put this on. I don't really need it, but we're still gonna use it. Some of these corners are dark. I hear a boy chopping away at the rock, and I don't know where he is. Is he up here? Yeah. Yes. That exactly. Same. And even coming back in 4 months, not guaranteed. My issue is that I'll, like, leave it and come back and be like, wow, I have no idea how to play or what's going on anymore, and so I'll start a new game, and then immediately get annoyed because I've either experienced it already, or I do the same thing that I did before, and then I never finish it. So I just don't generally I just don't bother with open world games anymore, unless I've, like, played it because somebody else had it for a little bit. Oh, we got one of the singing bats here! Where is she? Also, yeah, I've definitely not been here before, so that's exciting. There she is. Ma'am, I need you to go. No! Okay. That was almost bad. Oh god, this is horrible, actually. Actually, this is bad. Actually... Oh, bat, please. Did we do it? Good job, wolves. Good pals. Are y'all vanishing now? Time for you to go? Yeah, it's time for them to go. Alright, well, they did good. I can hear another one, though. How do I get up there? Yeah, so this is a whole area I did not get to experience the first time through. Which again, incredibly exciting, considering how many hours I put into this game already. I love it. I don't know that this is how I get to the Volcano Manor, though. Now that we're here. So, you know, that's fun. No. Bats, I need you to go away, buddies. It's not gonna do either of us any good to have you just attacking me, because I will kill you. And then you'll be dead, and that's gonna suck for you. It's true, there might be a hidden gummy here. A gummy that we have not seen. The possibility of more gums. Very exciting. What's over there? Big land octopus. Many land octopi, actually. Okay, I don't want to fight the lady just yet. But also this seems a little dangerous. Octopodes. They're here. Should probably fill up my magic while we're here and thinking about it. That's not gonna hit. Oh, it is! we go. No, no bites. It's like dealing with Lamia. No biting. Great. Good to know that those guys are chumps now. I can fight them very easily. Serpent God's curved sword. Excuse? Where is that? There it is. I do just want to see. That's kind of cool. I like that. Welcome back. Good job. I'm glad you got your task done. We love having Sam back. Okay, yeah. We might not find the Volcano Manor. But this has bun. Oh my god. This has been a very fun little detour that we've taken. Get out here, wolves. Hold on. Let's do a murder here. And then I'm gonna pull this up, if you don't mind, Sam. We can finish this little area. Oh, that's too many. Oh, that's too many ladies. Oh, that's too many ladies. No! I am getting my shit wrecked. Ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am! No! This is horrible. This is horrible. Okay, hold on. While this is happening, I'm gonna... We're gonna... No, that's not what I want. We'll just do it here. This is fine. Oh, I can't breathe. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, you have given us a gift. An absolute gift. Hold on a second. This is just gonna live on stream now. Oh my god. You have outdone yourself. There he is. There's the boy. Oh, he's perfect. Praise the Elden Lord. Oh, I don't want it super small, though. He can cover my face, actually. You know what? There we go. This is acceptable. Praise the Elden Lord. Sam, you are perfect. He is allowed to cover my face. He is allowed to have the floor for the next 15 minutes. This is fine and I am sad. I am saddened by this. I just lost 5,000 runes. Oh my god. Which, like, isn't that many, all things considered, but with as few as I usually get, this is horrible and tragic. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, this is why it happened. I got so nervous. He's here! The Elden Lord is here! That's a lot to deal with. Oh! It's okay. It's okay. I've got my composure now. We can handle this. Anything for the Elden Lord. Okay, this is fine. Great! I keep getting glances of him, and he's perfect. Have I mentioned that he's perfect? Oh, that's where the boy is. This is fine. We can explore here later. I should really, just off-stream, go through all the catacombs on my own time and level up. I think that would be incredibly beneficial towards accomplishing the Gummy hunt. Stop with this poisoning bullshit! This is fine. I hate flying enemies so much. So much. You know what? We do have... I think we can get there from here. So, what if we... Gummy Hunter is here to do the job for you. We're gonna... I think I can get to the Volcano Manor from behind Rena's Rise. I mean, this is the Carrion Manor. But we can... I don't know. Quickly get through there, probably, maybe. Is EG down here? EG's down here, right? I don't know that we can get EG's gummies, though. Who's this? What's this? Oh, those are just angry men. Great. EG might be further up, actually. No! Horseman! Yeah. 6 runes from that. Totally worth it. Okay, EG might actually be past Carrion Manor, as I think about it. Go get dinner and get that laundry done, Sam! Thank you for the lurk. We're gonna be ending here pretty soon anyhow. But thank you for this beautiful gift of Elden Lord Devo. And for just gracing us with your presence. We love to see ya. This all seems like a bad idea. Oh! Oh! Hey, we did it. Hey, I opened up the path. Okay, we can try to get EG's gummies, but I don't know that I'm gonna be able to because he's very large.
Well, look at you.
But it is giant, friend, and we love him.
Tarnished. What brings you here? Pardon me. It's hardly my place to ask, is it? I am E.G., a blacksmith who once served the Carian royals. An old codger who refuses to retire his rusty hammer. So here I am, still quietly plying my trade on this spot. Perhaps you'd like a display? These bones are old, but still able.
Yeah! No, we love EG.
Oh, watch out there. When I'm absorbed in my smithing, I lose sight of all else. If you come too close, I'm apt to cause you harm. I am, after all, terribly large compared to you, Tarnished. You don't know how hard it is not to break anything while I work.
Big boy, big boy. Big sweet boy.
Brave Tarnished. A word of warning, if you please.
I like his
This
helmet.
territory once belonged to the Carian royal family. Their manor lies not far beyond this point. When the Raya Lucari Academy turned on the Carians, the Knights of the Cuckoo descended on this tract. After leveling it, they carried on to the manor. The Carians were taken off guard, but their strength had not waned, and they repelled the Knights' onslaught by conjuring an enchanted snare that
I bet
remains
EG has good
potent to this
like
day.
voices
That is
for
why
reading.
I say, Tarnished, don't go near the manor unless you wish to lie with the corpses of the heedless Knights of the Cuckoo.
But
Blythe actually
yeah,
did that.
Blythe sent me.
Quite a rare occurrence for such a guarded soul as he.
Wolf boyfriend sent
Perhaps
me.
he sensed something unusual about you. At any rate, if
EG
you're
would have a good
friendly
wooden
with
boy
Blythe,
voice.
I've something else that might suit you.
Yeah?
I've explained of the enchanted. Whatever you do.
Did. Okay, but look at that Kyrian filigree crest! Thanks, friends. Oh, I'm a little boy and he likes his sticks. Alright. EG. Pal. Same hat. EG, I can see the hint of gummies in there. You're too much like Muriel, though, and you just kind of disappear into non-existence. No! EG, my horse is stepping on your tootsies. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of in shock that we watched all of Our Flag Means Death the other day. I mean, I was fully prepared for us to stop like partway through and finish it another time, but all of it. This is tragic because I can't. That's as good as it's gonna get. This is horrible. The show might be good. I'm so glad it's been renewed for a second season. Again, HBO would have been like absolutely just incorrect for not doing it. This is a horrible screenshot. I know. But I am taking it. Horse is stuck. course. Ooh, ooh, actually. Is that better? Did I get it? Did we get it? Did the gummies get got? 2 seconds. Kind of. They kind of got. I think this is as good as EG's gummies are gonna get. Which is horrible and tragic, because it's not that good. But, you know. It's what we can do. That does put us at 40. Right? Yeah, I mean, you saw how much I cried on my second full watch through of the entire show. Show might be good. Okay, hold on. Gummy works. And this is 40, which is exciting on its own. Oh, I didn't mean to open it up. Okay. We are pretty much at the end of stream, though, so I don't necessarily want to go into the manor just yet. Whoa! Whoa! What? EG! Explain! Don't remember that. Okay, well, this is fine. We can end here. Somebody's casting spells at me is what that is. I'll hop on over here while I exit out of the game fully. Yeah, we are gonna call it here for now. We officially have 40 gummies, though, so that's incredibly exciting. Again, I am hoping to be fine. I'm hoping to be better by Friday, like, fully better. If I am, we'll do some Prey on Friday. And then do some Siren this weekend. And, might have some plans for next week. We'll see how that goes. But for now, let's find someone to raid. Thanks for being here, everyone! I am very glad that I ended up streaming today. Like I said, I was like, I really just, like, missed playing video games and hanging out with everyone. Let's find someone to raid. Does anybody have any suggestions? I only have a couple of people on, and most of them are people we've raided recently. I'd suggest raiding Mrs. Kiwi, but she is playing the Quarry, and I want absolutely none spoilers for that. Sub-raid! Exclamation point sub-raid! Yeah! You did it! Good job, Fruity. You remembered! I'm proud of you. If no one has any suggestions, we'll probably go say hi to ATM0? You know what? Let's look to see who we have on that's queer and playing Elden Ring. While people try and give me suggestions, if you give me a suggestion. Here's someone. They've only got 8 viewers. New friend. Let's go say hi to a new friend. Yeah. Let's go say hi to Data Rich. They are a queer streamer. And it is an 18+ one, which is great for us. And it looks like they are also playing some Elden Ring. And this is their first time playing. I'm excited about that. So we will go say hello to Anna Rich. Always here for seeing new friends. We haven't done a brand new person in a hot minute, though. So, if you're gonna come raid with us, our messages are above. Birdie Spruce pulled those up for us, like a good mod. First one is for everyone. Second one is for subs. Yeah, let's go say hi to new friend. I will see y'all later. Have a good rest of your time zone. Thank you for being here, you darling, beautiful humans. And I'll see you next time. Bye, friends!